And good evening, everybody. A special Sunday evening. Today, I'm going to be moving out of my comfort zone. I'll tell you how after my story, all right? Because, like they say, the best way to learn is when you unlearn. And I think that's one big message. That's the way I have looked up to people who've taught me. So, starting with the story, as customary, our our experts, our guests are so kind and they wait for little Pan's story to finish. So we'll start with Pan. Now, Pan is out for a walk. Pan is out for a walk with dad. He loves to walk and he loves to talk. He loves to walk and he loves to talk and he loves to have a look. He loves to come back home and draw what he saw in a book. That's how Pan goes for a walk. He looks at the line, he looks at the line that the ants walk along. He keeps looking at the ants and thinks, why do they ever not go wrong? He sees the leaves change. So he sees the leaves change color and fall. So they just change color and fall. He hears the birds sing and the other birds answer the call. He feels the rough bark of the trees. And he remembers how soft the petal feels. This is all that Pan does when he goes for a walk. So he remembers the time when his hanky got wet and dad said, just dry it in the sun, Pan, do not fret. And when it dried in the sun really fast, he folded it into a four and got a square. And then he changed the fold, and my God, was there a triangle there? Oh, he listens to the bell ring. So he listens to the bell and he knows that that's what he can tell. It's the ice cream man bringing the ice cream to sell. Everything goes quiet. And he hears another sound. He knows it's the candy man ringing the bell on his cycle as he comes to sell the candy around. So Pan loves to go for a walk. Pan loves to go for a walk and talk. Pan loves to go for a walk and a talk and have a look. Pan loves to come back and draw and write in his book. So that's the wonder of a simple walk, the environment, and how you grow your children. Today, like I said, my first step is to welcome a somebody I've looked up to. And today, when I say welcome, Praminda, it means to say I welcome a friend. Just yesterday, someone said from the environment, it's important to know the friends you keep. So I'm honored that I'm in that list now. And a very warm welcome.
Thank you.
So, the journey of just learning from the environment is something which I began as a teacher. These were the wonderful people I met who actually taught you that the environment can just integrate and teach you so much. So can we just start with that for the audience, please? Your thoughts, just to
let me take you on my journey. When I did my teacher's training way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, the fact remains is that, thematic learning was considered very modern then.
Yeah.
And it is still done now. And I was very, very lucky. My husband, being a Fauji, got posted to the UN and we went to New York. And there I did my education from the Bank Street College. And, it was very, very tough. Just what Sonia says, you have to unlearn to relearn. And what they told me, it really upset me for a time until I started to believe. Now, I must tell you that a lot of us are still not ready to hear it. But what they said is that environment is the true lesson. And the books, the textbooks, the reading, the writing, the maths, the good scripting, the things that we all love, they are just tools to understand the environment. But the environment is the world outside, but the environment is also you. And what you do and your skills are what is the most important. So later, when I did come back to India, and I was very, very fortunate to get a job with the Shri Ram School,
Yes.
my first priority was one, citizenship. I wanted my students, whether they were nursery or kindergarten or class 3, 4, 5, to be citizens first. And then, though we did thematic learning, we did use the environment as something we studied, and reading, writing, etc., were just the tools.
My
And
God.
so I want to tell you, teachers and parents, something. The textbook was the recap, not the beginning, right? The textbook was the common minimum program that every child had to know, but it didn't stop us. It was not a wall. It was just a stone on which we stood and peeped outward.
Yes.
So that,
Yes, and I think this part is so precious because as I travel, through the country, I go to very small places. I was just narrating this incident yesterday when somebody asked me, what is your definition of success? As you've been traveling, and today in the morning I had a webinar with the Montessori environment, and I said that, I narrated an incident to them. It was a place called Palla, which is a little away from Delhi, where somebody gives me bathua and sarson because there are no flowers to gift a speaker. And this lady has heads 4,000 children. And I by chance asked a question, are you a copycat in the workshop? And she heard it. And she said, आप बैठिए madam. It was 2 minutes for the bell to ring. And then she said that ये तो आपकी शहरी भाषा है, इसको हम गुणों का आदान प्रदान कहते हैं. आपके गुण मैं ले लेती हूँ और अपने गुण आपको दे देती हूँ. I didn't know what to answer to her. And the next thing is, she said 4,000 children are going to leave 2 minutes from now. And watch what I'm going to do. So the bell rang. There was chaos, obviously, 4,000 children leaving. She switches on the mic and says, "Bachcho, आज मेरे पास एक मेहमान बैठी है." And the school went silent. Not just silent. And she said that I don't do this because I have to scold them, but they know कि मेहमान का क्या मतलब है. And I just had no words. So this is learning from the environment, where the environment is made so powerful, that so I so agree with you. Plus 5 fruit, 5 vegetables, 5 domestic animals, 5 wild animals, red fruits, yellow. And look at what we're doing to the country today. So I think what you're saying, that start with experiences, go to the books a little later. There's nothing against books at all, right?
no. The books bind us, it just makes us head in the same direction, but they are
Yes.
just tools. Okay, now I'm going to say something horrible. And a lot of you are going to say, but really, if I had a school, I would have no textbooks. I would have reference books. I would have library books to help me know more about the environment. Now, there are many textbooks that are beautifully written. There are some that I absolutely adore. In fact, I'm going to take their names. Okay, I am science failed, right? I failed in science in school and I was a humanities person. But then Shri Ram School, being really adventurous, told me to go teach science. So at 45, I opened the textbook and I said, oh my, I can understand that. And I loved teaching science. And ultimately, it was my ambition to write a science book.
Wow.
Until I came across, wow. I wrote the first chapter from 1 to 5. And then I joined Learn Today. And a very, very dear friend of mine, Vagesh, who I really look up to, introduced me to Small Science. Now, Small Science has been written by Homi Bhabha. And before I go further, I'm going to ask all of you who are listening to this webinar a question. You have 40 minutes, right? And in that unit of time, what is your priority? Do you want to teach science or do you want to create a scientist? Because both ways, they're completely different how you would teach.
Yeah.
So think about it. You want to teach science or you want to create a scientist? Now, when I do workshops, a lot of people say we want to teach science and the science is in the book. But the scientist is the person who interacts with the environment and understands it. Now, this series of books called Small Science is been written again by the Homi Bhabha Foundation, which is made for scientists, and it is made to create scientists. Their parents hate it because there's no mugging up. There is no textbook. There's a big fat teacher's manual, and then there's a workbook where the children fill up the workbook through their observations and their analysis.
So
And
beautiful.
that becomes the textbook. So the environment is the lesson, और बाकी जो आपने उससे निचोड़ निकाला है, everyone can be different. Because remember, it is the process that makes the science, not the end product. हाँ ठीक है, you have to go to IIT, जाओ, go. But don't go in primary school and you don't have to go in middle school. You have to understand the concept.
Yes.
And the concept doesn't live in a book. It lives
In the environment.
in the environment around you.
Absolutely. So you remember that many years back when we worked, it was not just
Yeah,
the
I love
EVS,
those
EVS,
days.
you know, when we, so the change maker was, we were doing the Hindi curriculum, and the suggestion was, let's start the Hindi learning from Ma, because Mera. And I remember the kind of protests we saw, because they said that, what is this? How can you start like that? But the thing was, the child, it's like belonging to Meri cheese, me, and the children responded to it because it was an activity. It was just the child looking at something and saying "Mera hai." So when you talk about language, you talk about numeracy. If there's, how would some school that's looking at a curriculum, who's looking at observation, assessment, worksheets, mummy, daddy, correction, tuition teacher, these are all are factors which actually stop them. Where should you begin? I mean, how would you suggest, if I dream to just say, I am going to take my children from here, take them from the whole and then take them to different parts? How would you, ask us to even start even thinking about it initially?
See, when you use the word tuition, that means exactly what you say. 5 fruits, 5 the vegetables, 5. I want to know everything by heart. I learn it by heart in school, and I produce it for the exams. And that is what the tuition person does for you.
Yeah.
There is no application. If you know a concept and we go slow, and you know the concept and you know it forever and you can apply it to something new, that is true learning. Okay, there's this really scary thing. Whatever Sonia and I are talking to you about now, tomorrow you would have forgotten 40% of it. And in a month now, just 20% is going to remain in your head. Now, all of us who are teachers will tell you a secret, and I promise you it is true. I, as a teacher, work really, 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 really hard with my batch. And when the new batch comes to me, I look at them and I say, Dodos, they know nothing. What did she do last year? What did he do last year? This batch knows nothing. Obviously, because everything they were taught, only 20% of it is retained. So if 20% is going to be retained, let's do less. Let's do it more often so that 20% actually makes neurons in their head. Again, if you're teaching for citizen, if you're teaching the textbook, हाँ रट लो, और आप फिर मतलब भेड़ चाल में चलोगे because you just want to be told, भाई please बता दो, फिर मैं कर लूँ, please बता दो. But if you want a leader, if you want a citizen, if you want somebody who can go out there and think of the politics of this country and give a good vote, you have to give them choices from today. And then the scary part is you have to allow them to make mistakes without feeling bad about them. And then they become scientists, because what is it? And I'm just talking science. It's any historian
yes.
is a scientist, an anthropologist is a scientist, an archaeologist is a scientist. Everybody who studies, thinks, analyzes, and then makes it their own is a scientist, right? So you're cooking, you're a scientist. Okay.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by being a scientist. It's a very broad term. So when we want our children to be scientists, we have to think, as I said this, about the process, not the product. We have to allow them to make hypotheses, even if it's over spellings. We have to allow them to attempt, even if it's over reading. And we have to allow them to self-correct. So I'm going to ask you one thing. Your parents and teachers and friends and students, hamara kaam kya hai? If I'm a good teacher, and if I'm a vigilant parent, I'll say, ye dekho, what is this teacher? All the words are not corrected, or sari galtiyan nahi pakad rahi. What a useless teacher.
You're right.
What are we doing to our children? We are pointing out their mistakes. We're not pointing out what they did correct. Let us start by telling the bacha, this is what you did well, very well, and this little bit is what we need to work on. हमारे बच्चे सुलेख करते हैं. You know what sulekh is? I'm sorry, I'm saying it so meanly. Sulekh is when you train the hand and you let the mind go dead. Right? So we do sulekh, and then we underline all the places where the children have not put it on the line. So what are we making them focus on? We're saying, bacha, not on the line, not on the line, and that's all they remember. What we should do instead is they do a page of sulekh, if you insist. And then you give them a color pencil and say, please underline the words that you think you have written perfectly. And you are reinforcing the good. And they are learning from their own mistakes by acknowledging what they have done right. You are empowering your children and you are making them resilient because they will not fear you. They don't need to fear their parents. They don't need to fear their teachers. They do need to respect them, but then you need to be worthy of respect. You have to earn respect, whether you're a parent or teacher. I'm so sorry, but that is so true. The environment must be one of acceptance, of safety, of come on, we're in this together. And then your children will learn. So look at the environment Sonia has brought about. You have the environment, which is the world around you. We have the environment that is within. And then we have the environment that you are creating as a parent and a teacher for your learner, who is the child, who is the most important person in this whole deal. Right?
So there was this talk that we, were having in the morning, and they were talking about the sensitive period. So many times when you say cognitive development, language I can do easily, science I can do, Hindi I can do, but the minute I am sitting down with that format and I write the word cognitive, I've been working for early years for 30 years. This is my 31st year. I still stop and look at a reference point. I will still pick up a book and say, what is cognitive development? What all should I do for it? I mean, in spite of so many years, I still am not able to slot it. And this psychologist told me something so interesting when I said this to him. He said, yes, because you're not looking at the emotional aspect of it at all. You are looking at the sensitive period for a numeracy. You're looking at it for a solution, for problem solving, for this, and this. But where are you looking for a stable, comfortable, safe child to go and learn all of that? And I really realized that that we, while it's there at the back of our mind, it needs to be right there in front of us. The emotional part of, the safety, the feel, I wouldn't even say feel good, because you don't have to have feel good all the time. But
no, you mustn't. You mustn't. No question of feel good all the time. Resilience comes from being able to stand up when you fall. Right? And the ability to stand up when you fall will help you for the rest of your life. But Sonia, people, please excuse what I'm going to say. This is purely for illustrative reasons. The new rule that on the 11th of November, all class 1 children have to have this tooth. Otherwise, they can't be promoted to class 2. You know that? On the 11th of November, which is 2 days from now, please check your class 1's child's tooth because they can't go to class 2. You know, that's the rule. If we can talk about, I mean, we all matured at different levels. Your children got their teeth at different ages. They sat up at different ages. They're going to learn at different stages. If we could make a rule that this much tooth has to be out on a particular day, so you have to learn to read on a particular day or know your division on a particular month, it's not possible. You know, one of those beautiful Hindi muhavaras that all our fingers are different on a hand, that is your bachas. Those are your biological children and your class. You cannot expect them to learn together. What good education does is they level the playing field. We challenge this child, we support these two children, and we hold the hands of these two, giving them individual attention. We teach them differently so that they can reach the same place at their own pace. That is what makes them safe. That is where you don't need tuition. We expect everybody to pull out that tooth on the same day. That is why you're doing tuition. So the dentist ke paas na nikal ke wo false wala dal rahe ho aap. Sachi. So we have to look at their maturity. I must tell you, we were very blessed.
I love this part.
Yeah, it is true. We need that. I must tell you, I have a grown-up son. But when he was in grade 5, he met the teacher who changed his life. And Avlok was struggling like me. I struggled. We are both dyslexic and dysgraphic. He was struggling in class 5. And what Mr. Wilson said to me was that your son is academically immature. In India, kehte buddhu hai, tuition kara do. There he said he's academically immature, which means that Avlok will catch up. Later on, when he was in the Sri Ram school, we found out that he was dyslexic and dysgraphic. But today, as a grown adult man, he's written a book. He can read every document. He still, like me, struggles when he reads, but he has the guts to go on, and he has the resilience because his teachers and his school did support him, and hopefully his parents supported him as well. And that is all your children need. They may struggle today. They're going to be fine as adults. Please believe me. And I'm speaking as myself, who was the worst in school, total duffer type. But I went to the Lawrence School, Sanar, which was the most wonderful school because academics did not matter. It was what you are, what you could enjoy, how far you could go on your own that mattered. So here I am not perfectly, reasonably good adult.
So, you know, it's very interesting also because you named really good schools, you know, schools which are so renowned, names are thing. When I travel the country, I travel to small towns, I travel where teachers, you know, the salaries are appalling. The teachers, the sad part is they're not exposed. It's not that they don't have the ability, beautiful abilities. So in my travel, I always tell them that when I travel, I don't ask the organization which category of school am I going to, because wherever my child is studying, it's the best.
Yes.
It's the best for that child. Now the teacher over there needs to be empowered. I mean, that's the bottom line. And that's where this whole struggle comes from. So and they ask me, when you go to so-and-so school, do you do things differently? I said, no. The only difference is if there's an AC, I leave my hair open, and if not, I tie up my hair. But there is no difference in what I bring to all of you. Because I think, and also it's a dream for all of us, that every school becomes a small brand in itself. Every part of the education becomes a brand. And if perhaps we do this whole sharing, like the other day I was talking to somebody and I said that, you know, if we when they asked me, so, you know, these teachers don't do this. So I said, in my 30 years, 70,000 teachers, I have never seen a bad teacher. I've seen bad processes. I've seen bad systems. So please improve your system. Don't look at a teacher and say, she doesn't do this right. If you give her 2 textbooks, 3 notebooks, 4 workbooks, plus photocopied worksheets, how do you expect this poor lady to even teach you a half and a full? She's never going to do that, right? So my like that's the reason why I wanted to talk about the environment where we can do language, where we can do math, where we can do, suppose we want to do numeracy today, and we have a topic, so you work with so many topics. So if you can just give us maybe just a few examples of a topic and what all can be covered with it, I mean, doesn't have to be specific, just what comes to your mind with, oh, with this I can do this, this and this. It just gives everybody a sort of step to go ahead.
I'm going to answer this because you brought up two things. I will first talk about teachers and then I will answer your
Right.
question. And I have to tell again, not as many teachers as you, Sonia. You are absolutely amazing. But the few teachers that I have done workshops with, there is an organization called Aman Biradari, and these were teachers who were working with street children, homeless children, and they were working with nothing except their own ingenuity. And I came and did my workshop, the integrated workshop on environmental studies. They stand today in my memory as the finest group of teachers, the most receptive group of teachers
Ever.
that I ever met. The reason why is they had no textbooks. They were the curriculum. And when you empower teachers to be the curriculum, they will do it. They will deliver much better when they're, textbooks and worksheets are like walls that block them. They're not roads. They're walls, they're hurdles that they have to jump over. That's one story. Story number 2. I was very young, 22-year-old, quite brash. And I met this principal from Rajasthan who'd got the President's Award. And I walked up to her and I asked her, okay, so why did you get the award? I mean, I hope I was not so rude, but this was my attitude. Ki main to urban, well-educated, why did you get the award? So this is her story. She was a nursery primary teacher, or maybe class 1 because government school. जब बच्चे क्लास में आते थे, she used to put their initials on each one of them. Remember, we discussed this when we were doing the curriculum together? And by the time the children knew the names of everybody in the class, they also knew the akshar from which their name started. So she didn't teach them ka kha ga, she taught them from the environment, using their names. And then one day, she took them for a walk. And the way she said it, I mean, she was a teacher. मैं बन्नियों पे खेतों में गई, फिर हम बन्नी पे चले, फिर हम वहां पे एक पेड़ के इर्द-गिर्द बैठ गए, and she put a little sarkanda in each one's mouth. So they said their initial with the sarkanda and the ah sound came. So she started to teach them the matras. So she didn't do Barbari, she didn't follow the system. Each child learned all the matras on their name. I don't remember all the stories, but all of you who are listening to me, can you do this, please? Take your foot. I can't do it just now otherwise. Take your foot and put it up like this and put your foot down like this. And tell me which one hurts more. So, Nyab karo. Which one hurts more?
The down. Niche.
So, badi, ooh. So that is how she taught the children the matras. First, they learned all the matras on their own name. Then they learned them on their best friend's name. Then they learned them on their parents' name. I mean, she taught the matras in a week, right? What we do in a year. So and she was a teacher in rural India.
I remember, I remember the story. And she used to put the matra in a panni, that paper packet, so the next time you're going to describe something, if I see someone, I'll bring it. I still use that.
Yeah, she made flashcards and would keep them in plastic bags or laminate them with Scotch tape if you can afford that. Yes. So her teaching aids would just last forever. Okay, now I just want to talk a little bit about integration. When we do our thematic learning now, animals, shapes, colors are themes. Animals, shapes, colors, plants should not be themes. They are strings. So you are studying summer and all the shapes, the animals, the plants, the things colors should go down summer. So let's just take, it's August. It's November now. What are you seeing outside? Have you seen patchar? Which leaves are falling, right? What is the fruit? What are the vegetables now? What is the temperature? What are the birds doing? Observe, watch, see. So what happens now is that all these things, like how can shapes be a theme? It's artificial. But when you walk around, when you go for a walk, this whole little panda walking, what are the shapes you're seeing as you walk? The cars, the windows, the doors, where are the shapes? The gates, whatever, the flowers. When you have to teach 5 to nursery children, most flowers have 5 petals. It took me a long time to discover that. And when you cut an apple, there are 5 seeds in the center. 5 is a natural number, like 7 Surya colors. 5 is also a natural number. So yes, numbers is not a theme on its own. It's a string that runs down all the themes.
Yeah.
And that is your imagination to make the environment come alive. Bank Street was again very pure. So you would write about November, you would write a letter to somebody about describing the weather in November. Okay, Diwali is coming. You would read the stories of Diwali. And of course, you would debate the morals of Diwali, because Ravan was Mahagyani, right? So was he the enemy? Was he a bad person? Who should give the answer? Not the adult. Does it really matter what the child says? They're going to know by the time they're adults, but they should think about these things. And they should realize that I'm taking it back. This is the moral of the story. How did Diwali happen? Because once Swarup Nakha tried to take advantage, being a rather spoiled person, take advantage. So Lakshman lost his temper and he cut her nose and ears. Was that a right thing for Lakshman to have done? So she goes to her brother. And if he was your brother, I hope he would have be really, really angry that somebody was so bad.
Yes.
So he takes revenge. Yeah. Now, what happens is you understand what peace is. Everybody is doing something wrong, and you are instead trying to make it right. You are taking revenge. Till you reach a point where thousands are dying. If somebody had just said, stop, let's talk some sense, let's talk this out together, well, maybe we wouldn't have had Diwali.
So also when we, the problem also that I see in the environment sometimes is, if you talk about anything which is epic or a religion or a thing, it becomes a very, very difficult situation for a teacher. So what I always tell them, this is also because we are working with different diverse groups, and sometimes it becomes really sensitive. So I always, my suggestion is that do stories in a neutral fashion. For example, if you're going to do a story which has to reflect something, do it, change names, give them situations. So what happens is you don't touch the sensitivity of an environment which we all live in. At the same time, you are training their minds to deal with a situation. I mean, I just take the middle way out, because I see a lot of sensitivity on certain topics, So I tell teachers, like for example, there are certain schools who won't do yoga because of a particular chant. So I tell them that, okay, let's not call it yoga, let's call it breathing exercises. Let's call it, sitting still for some time. So what happens is the whole environment stays peaceful, and you pick up things from the same environment. So it was very beautiful. A few years back, I was working with, the same year I was doing the convents, the Islamic schools, the normal Hindu school, and multiple schools. Now it is very interesting. Somebody looked at me and said, "So can you do stories from our epics or our books?" So this was like 3 different kinds of schools, and so I told them that could you all send me your stories, please? Each one send me your stories. There is no guarantee on whose name I will use. I could change names. I could change, but I will keep the situations the same. And I did that. So I
Wow.
used the environment. I used the processes, and I said, why can't? And these are all human processes. It was so beautiful because I don't think any. So I think the environment, like what you're saying, is so powerful. The other day I was telling somebody during this time, the pandemic time, what according to you, as you see it, as somebody who's worked for so many years in this system, how do you view this time as a learning environment for the children, the early years children?
Very hard. It's been very hard for the early years children because very hard to keep them online for so long. So in school you had them, literally you have them for 3 hours captive. You teach them in 15-minute little capsules and you have other activities to distract them. So it's really been extremely hard. What I've in fact I love what some teachers have said. They said, let it go. Doesn't matter whether they learn the ABCs and 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter at all, because we're going to catch up when they ultimately get back to school. What has been very interesting is that how involved the parents have had to be with their children. And in a way, it's slightly ironic because the parents are the true teachers. We are just ships in the dark. We just pass each other. 1 year you're mine, and then
Hmm.
1 year you're not. But you parents are the true teachers of your children. And I think this time, a lot of parents have worked very closely with schools. And this is my prediction that when your bachas ultimately get back to school, they are going to be so much stronger because of your parental involvement. I know it's been really hard on you. You've done your jobs, you've all shared devices. It's not been easy. But because the teachers have and that's another thing. Teachers, yay to you. They have completely adapted. They found little songs, they've done little dances with their teachers. And in a way, literacy took the back bench. It was the environment. It was what could you do with your
Yes,
parents. It
yes,
was the interaction that
yes.
gave them what Sonia has been talking about, this emotional richness.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that academics, the ratta might have not done so well, and writing may not have been so perfect, but the learning is going to be much deeper
Much.
and maybe much happier. I feel very sad for the bachas not going out to play.
Yeah,
I worry
that I
about their
think,
socialization.
yes.
I truly worry about that. But they've learned to talk to people on Skype and deal
Yeah,
with
yeah,
each
yeah.
other and done story readings like Sonia for hundreds of children. And they're so sweet. Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Love you, ma'am. I mean, they are so interactive now on platforms like
Yes,
these.
yes.
So it's different, but good. I think
And
it's
also,
changed education
yes,
forever.
forever, forever. I also feel that this has been a beautiful time where we were talking about when we talked about EVS. So when I remember, so
Yes.
when I did my books, I said I don't want to put even a word EVS inside the preface. Let's call it environmental experiences. And then we had this initial part of the book where everything was experience, experience, experience. And people came back to our teams and said, there's no written work. So I said, suppose there's a page that says, be helpful. So the deal is color a flower each time you have helped somebody at home. Now, why do I need a written work for that? Can you give me an answer? So, for 3 years, 4 years, you can't imagine how I've struggled. There are people telling me this is never going to work, and then this 64-page document comes out, and everybody looks
Ah,
at you and says, activity, madam. I said, this is the most beautiful time where we as teachers and as facilitators are actually able to facilitate the young parents. For me, I think that's been one of the biggest. And these parents are very busy people. They're people who have having tough careers, they're having very, very tough situations because nobody is respecting their personal time. But I feel even if this little 40 minutes of chai with us is going to empower them for such a long time, that look around you. That day we did it from the kitchen. I did a session for 40 minutes from the kitchen. I said, pick up the pyaz, the aloo, the atta, the chamach, the katori, dusting of the house, exercises of practical life, getting the children to, like the folding of the napkins, sorting of your socks, buttoning up your shirts, putting hooks on the shirts. You name an activity which we do in school, it will be done with far more ease because we have to bring these resources to
Yes,
school. Today they're sitting in that environment. So for me, when I spoke with you and you said I'm working on the environmental thing, I said, oh my god, we have to talk about this. That how is it that how easily can you make it so powerful? Your verbs, your prepositions, your nouns, you just have. I mean, do you agree with what I'm saying, that a
to-
beautiful time to complete the
totally,
triangle, that
totally.
that
In fact, I've been doing book reading, storytelling of this amazing product. It's called Bookflix. So what they've done is they've taken a fiction story on a topic and they have the science right next to it. Now the science is of a slightly higher level, but the fiction book is so easy that the bacha can do the fiction book themselves. So what happens is the bacha learns the concept and gets introduced and then studies the real
studies
concept.
of it.
This whole mixing of reading and literature with concepts and life. So it's a three-way triangle that makes things work. I do want to tell you one thing. I am going to quote a niece of mine who's in a big financial honcho, very successful person in her job, and she would, like all you parents out there, would say, "Dear God, give me 1 year with my daughter. I am missing her growing up." And COVID came and she's working from home. And her daughter says, Ma, you can cook. So here's this lady cooking 3 meals, running her job, but spending quality time. She says, I'm working on my computer. I got tears in my eyes. She says, I'm working on my computer, but I can look at my daughter. मैं ऑफिस जाके भी
Yes, yes,
तरसती हूँ. I think
yes.
in a way it's just changed it for our son also. This COVID has been a blessing, the bonding he's had with
The
his
yeah, the
child.
actually, yeah. So while yes, there's a lot of things that have gone wrong because of the whole pandemic, but I think that this part where, so I remember I came home on 16th of March. I put my bags down, and I just told Sanjeev, I just want to be home, and I just didn't travel after that. But yes, it's very understanding because a lot of pain has come also with it.
Terrible.
But for young parents, I think it's a beautiful time. Enjoy it with your children. Environment, like we spoke about, that it's a beautiful you have. So don't take subjects, take concepts, and suppose you're taking even nimbu pani, do the measurement, do the language, do the solution, do the mixing. So with that one nimbu pani, you would have taught different aspects of it. So start looking at smaller things. That would be my suggestion, that look for small steps. And yes, we will keep coming back with ideas for you, with people who just have lived this from, the advantage of having somebody like you speaking it, that I know you've lived it.
Yeah,
you,
I'm so lucky. I've been really lucky.
you Yes, so I think so. What we are also going to do is I want to thank you
My
for coming on board and sharing your thoughts with us. It's been special. It's been really,
Thank
really
you. Thank
special.
you.
And next week we are planning because it's going to be Children's Day. So normally we announce what we have to do, but on 14th, what the team is going to do is they're going to have a competition that says it's my name, where the children have to, you know, do a little artwork with their name, and then they set it up. So please
Wow.
go to the Square Panda
Will
platform
do. Will
and
do.
see what they have to offer you. It's also a very interesting team. Every time I see these young people, so I am, I think, the oldest working with them now, and this young lot is so energetic. They have they have, I would do something with a longer process, and they'll cut the process down, and they'll say, no, it can be done like this.
Yes. True.
So
True. True.
that is how it is. And thank you so very much. And
My pleasure.
the one thing I always remember you with is, in the environment, you could stop it with one whistle of yours. So thank you so much.
Jungly.
That's it. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye, Sonia.
Thank
My
you.
joy. My
God
pleasure.
bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Square, square, panda.